God, I love that flag.
I knew that this was the day. Ready to my boat to say that I'm better off running miles away.
Thank you for your service, sir. Good morning. Holy. I know there's no way I can be showing this accurately. I can't describe the rock and roll that's happening right now. The rain and the wind. Holy mama. Whew. I gotta tell you though, there's a wicked breeze coming right through that hole. Whew. Whoop. Oh. Okay. Oh man. Hey look, still no leak. Almost like I kind of worked with these materials before. It does need TLC on top because there was one little spot that was that had a little bit of oil and it was having a hard time sticking. So it does need TLC. But yeah. Oh my God. I don't even want to open that door. This is actually... Oh my goodness. But I need coffee. I mean, I could boil coffee. But just look at this place. I mean, I'm not set up to be... I'm in a freaking parking lot, okay? I didn't unload the truck. I parked. Holy mac. Oh. I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, too. Holy mac. Something wrong with me. Oh. And then 5 o'clock in the morning, somebody was having a party right next door to my freaking... Or not a party, but they were having a get-together or something. One guy sounded like he was dying, coughing. Oh my gosh. This is nuts. Should I open a curtain? Look outside? Should we do that? Should we try that? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. Can you see those trees? Wow, just look at them blowing. Wow. This is like full-on freaking tornado weather. What the heck? Is it following me? I'm freaking done with this. Holy. Okay, well, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get coffee because I need coffee. Till then, I'll talk to you later. Yep, that's pretty much what this is gonna be. I don't know how to have this conversation, but it needs to be brought up every time we actually have an opportunity. And this is why I'm gonna do this. Even though this is a 2-month-old story almost 2 months old. All right. But it needs to be brought up yet again. Okay. This is the most racist, partisan politician in our government these days. All right. I don't know how to put this. I'm going to show a whole bunch of clips. I'm going to create a story over one meeting. This politician who sits on the board of the status of women sits there to create partisanship. Let's walk this way. Let's get off the main road and walk down the road here. I'm simply appalled at everything I saw. And it's part of the reason why I don't like to do politics anymore, because it just makes me mad. And I'm so done being mad all the time. But this one, oh my, this one. Yeah. I was coming through Winnipeg and I knew I had to actually do this one. And as much as it makes me mad, it has to be brought up every opportunity we have to bring it up. Winnipeg, I get it. You're a socialist city. Manitoba, you're a socialist province. Okay, fine, you like communism. I don't think you're right in this, but hey, whatever. You want the rest of us to pay your way, that's all, whatever. It's not what this is about. But you keep electing people to do stuff like this. This just... I'm sorry, this one pisses me off. This woman did not listen to a word, anything that was happening. All she wanted to do was make partisan attacks. Re-abuse a woman who came to that committee to get solutions to violence against women. And this politician took it upon herself to raise her hand 7 times. And I have a sister. I don't really get along with her. I have a stepsister. Don't really get along with her either. I have a wife I'm separated from. And I have a daughter who dislikes me. But I'll tell you this much. If anybody ever laid a hand on any one of them, or committed any type of violence against them, I'll be the first one standing there ready to go to jail for it. You can take that any way you want. I don't understand where this woman went, where she thought she was going. And oh, he is so cool. Squirrel! Literally. Anyway, no, this isn't a humorous video. This is a conversation. It's a conversation that really annoys the living crap out of me. How much she abused this poor woman that had already lived the trauma and came there to find solutions. Oh, I got a lady coming. Let's just... Oh, isn't it pretty grass? Let's not put the lady on camera. Good afternoon, ma'am. There we go. She's not on camera anymore. Okay, where was I? So, this woman came to the committee who can't even live in Canada anymore. But she came to Canada because she's from Canada. And she's embarrassed to hold a Canadian passport. And then gets treated like this. And you wonder why no one trusts the government. Now, Winnipeg, you just elected another member for this party. Everyone says Poilievre's a partisan. And you know what? You're not wrong. He's very partisan. Okay? But I've never seen any of the Conservatives use this type of tactic in such an important conversation and become partisan over something so fundamentally important as Leah Gazan. This woman is an insult to our democracy. But Winnipeg, you chose to elect another NDP member. Okay? This isn't exclusive to Leah. Just take Jagmeet, for instance. He's as partisan as they come. You know, everything he does is partisan. I ripped up the agreement and I'm gonna vote with the government. What the fuck? This party is nothing but partisan. Okay? You say you're speaking for Canadians. Well, Leah Gazan is not. She only speaks for one group. Okay? You're either Aboriginal or you're two groups. Aboriginal or LGBT. And either way, sorry, people walking by. And if you're neither of those, well then, you're irrelevant to her. And it just shows her racism. Okay? And her bigotry. We talk about bigotry towards the LGBT, or when we talk about racism towards Native people or any other color, but it actually happens in reverse as well, you know? And you blatantly showed it, because this was a white woman who stood there in front of you trying to plead you to help solve problems. And you chose to make it all about yourself. You chose to make it about your agenda. You chose to make it about attacking conservatives. To the point the witness got up in tears, sat with their backs to you as the biggest insult to Parliament. And then when you couldn't acknowledge that much, that you were being that disrespectful to the witnesses, no, that wasn't enough. No, you had to keep going. Raise your hand some more. No, you had to make the woman cry and make her leave the room disgusted. Both witnesses left the committee mid-meeting because of your antics. And this is what Winnipeg chooses to elect. All these people, all these houses. This is who you elected. This is what you want our government to be. Is this. You wonder why everybody's so angry at the government these days. You wonder why everybody's so angry at the NDP as well. It's because of this BS. You know, instead of actually attacking the solutions or, you know, maybe the policies of the conservatives, and that's a fair game. No, you attacked the witnesses coming there to give you testimony, to find solutions to violence against women. No. And what you pulled was nothing more disgraceful, as much as you claim to be disgraced by it. I can't remember what your words were now. I'm just so bloody angry. And I can't do this. There's another person. So we're just going to keep the camera down a bit. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Show you a whole bunch of clips. I'll put together basically a little movie for you. But I want to say it one more time before I go. This person sitting in our parliament is the most racist, bigoted, partisan politician I have seen in a very long time. You wonder why people get angry with the Native groups and the LGBT groups, because they take your actions and they make it their own. And this is what pisses people off. I gotta go find something that's gonna make me feel better, because this is nothing but pissing me off. Leia, you don't deserve your job. You are a disgrace to women, girls, the LGBT, and Canada.
At this point, we'll resume debate on your motion. Michelle.
Thanks. So,
Sorry. Madam Chair, I'd like to speak on the motion.
Okay, I'll add your name to the speaking list.
thank you, Madam Chair. So what people are watching at home right now is we have a debate on the floor. We've called an emergency meeting because Stats Canada released shocking statistics. We've seen an increase 75% in sexual assault since 2015. Total sexual violations against children up 119%.
Point of order, Madam Chair. Point of order, Madam Chair. Miss Gazan hai.
Hear you, Sonia.
Can I speak?
Yes.
Miss Gazan had her hand up and wanted to speak first. She indicated early that she wants to speak, and the chance is not given to her. Can she speak first?
I've currently given the chair to MP Ferrari. I've noticed that MP Gazan has her hand up, and I acknowledge that she'll have the floor next.
Point
Thank
of
you.
order, Chair. Point of order, Chair.
Certainly.
I had my hand up before. I had my hand up. Madam Chair, I had my hand up. With all due fairness, point of order, I had my hand up, that my hand was up. It is not being acknowledged. I had my hand up.
With all due respect, had we just continued on, we would have had both of you speak by now with the time we've allowed for this conversation.
We are talking about a committee where we're supposed to behave in a democratic manner. Certainly the Canadian public expects us to behave in a democratic manner. And I would like my turn to speak with all due respect, Chair. You know, in the history of this committee, we have done things in fairness. I am devastated by the way this meeting is being handled today. I would like us to be collegial.
Fortunate to be here today. I'm supposed to be dead. On July 31st, 2021, exactly 3 years ago today, I sent the 2-word WhatsApp message, "Please help," to a friend who thankfully believed me. My ex was beating me. All 6'3", approximately 250 pounds of him, because he couldn't find his car keys. For 4 hours, with his fists, his feet, a wooden rolling pin, door wells, he split my head open in 3 places, gouged my eyes out with his thumbs, kicked my ribs, and tortured me in ways I can feel but can't fully describe. I do not know how my body survived it. My ex enjoyed what he did to me. He threatened to kill my family. The police were going to leave me for dead, but my former neighbor intervened. And after all that, guess what your criminal and justice system gave me? A peace bond. All 8 charges, 5 in the provincial and 3 in the federal, were stayed against my ex. And I can't say his name because it will forever be known as alleged abuse. I ask of you exactly what I asked Justice Himmel, who had the tears in her eyes on March 26, 2024, when I received the peace bond. Why does he abuse, and why is he allowed to get away with it?
As somebody who has spent their life fighting around issues around violence against women, I find this deeply troubling.
Today is not about me. Today is about us and what this means going forward. You have granted me the honor of speaking on behalf of all men, women, non-binary, and children, survivors of violence. And I want to state from a survivor's perspective, Trudeau doesn't care, Ford doesn't care, Arif doesn't care, and the government doesn't care. The government doesn't care about Courtney Goudreau, who faced potential charges and jail time for speaking the name of her convicted abuser when a publication ban was implemented without her consent. The government doesn't care about Brian and Suzanne Sweeney, whose daughter Angie was shot to death along with 3 innocent children. Brett and Jessica Broadfoot, whose daughter was stabbed to death 2 weeks ago at age 17, leaving behind her absolutely incredible 15-year-old brother, Lucas. The government doesn't care about Melanie Hatton, who fled BC to Ontario after nearly being murdered by her ex-partner. She suffers long-term traumatic brain injury and still lives in fear daily with her 2 children, and now owes $300,000 to the CRA because her ex bankrupted her. The government doesn't care about Tanya Couch, who was sexually assaulted by her former commanding officer and cadets, but the military police failed to investigate it properly. The case was finally reopened, leading to 3 sexual assault charges, ultimately being stayed after the defense used Section 278 of the Criminal Code to subpoena 7 years of Tanya's personal counseling records. The government doesn't care about Alexa Barkley, who has suffered multiple SA throughout her life, with only one of her abusers receiving a mere 6 months of house arrest for child sexual assault. Or Daniela Halmos, whose ex has been arrested 6 times and faces 27 charges, but is still allowed to go free, and despite her children not wanting it, is allowed to be around them. The government doesn't care about Sandy Proudfoot, who is 86 years old and just finally escaped her abuser, who has tried to bankrupt her while the police lost her victim statement and nothing proceeded. Government doesn't care about Cindy, whose infant daughter was so brutally sexually assaulted that she had children's toys put up her private parts. Her abuser is not incarcerated. The government doesn't care about Marley. After 3 years of going through the courts, she felt dehumanized by the process every single step of the way. She ended up fighting for restorative justice because the justice system doesn't provide justice. Or Britt Hess, who suffered from the same perpetrator and has experienced multiple assault, harassment, times of confinement wherein he was charged, but then breaches bail and all charges are stayed under his charter right. Or
Kate,
Julie McFarlane, who has had...
May I just kindly ask you to slow down a wee bit?
Sure.
The interpreters
I'm trying to get in the 5 minutes.
The interpreters have mentioned to me that they are having trouble translating, so we'll just give you a little bit of liberty with some time because of the translation.
Sure, thank you. Or Julie McFarlane, who has NDAs used against her to sue her after she was harassed. Or Cassandra, who was nearly murdered from non-state torture and absolutely no charges were laid. Or Siren, who faced a menacing abuser who now has 35 charges and keeps breaching his bail order. Siren's life is in danger, but her ex was just granted visiting rights of their child. There's Fatouma Kousseau, whose daughter disappeared after 18 years of abuse and ultimately was murdered by an American who shouldn't have even been allowed to cross the border because of DUIs. Or there Katie Mayers, who suffered 17 counts of physical assault only to have her harrowing experience explained away. Her child will have to testify. There's Sarah Barber, who has worked tirelessly to shield her children from 3.5 years of post-separation legal abuse in the family court system after experiencing terrifying, relentless violence from a well-known serial woman abuser. Or Corey Lynn, who has a lifetime of sexual assaults starting in a childhood and conditioning her to intimate partner violence relationships and lengthy court family battles to protect her children. Or Travis, who faces bias from the system because of his sexual orientation. Or Heather Matriarch, whose name has been changed because she's an Indigenous woman.
The motion then. And I'll tell you why it's really important. Because I have never in my time, since being elected, seen greater efforts to perpetrate state control on women's bodies. And I'm going to give you a few examples. In terms of abortion specifically. MP Viersen, Wagenthal, Falk, Lewis, Motz, Couric put forward identical petitions that were presented in 2022 by members listed above, called upon members of parliament, in quotes, and this is in quotes, to do everything in their power to
Madame la
prevent,
Présidente,
block,
point d'ordre.
organize.
Point of order.
Okay, at this point, Leah, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Really sad about a committee that has worked together to put together transformational studies being used politically today. But I'm to speak to the motion, so I'm going to do that. But I have to say, before I do that, to share how devastated I am, because I can tell you as an Indigenous woman in this place that decided to run because of this particular issue, because I live in ground zero for murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls, because I live and represent a community where we just had to convict a serial killer because Indigenous women are disposable, because of the fact that there was no Indigenous women asked to speak today. There was nobody from the LGBTQ community asked to speak today. There was nobody from the trans community asked to speak today about violence when we are the ones that are on the front lines of going disappeared and murdered. I find really hurtful.
Order, Leah. Anna, what's your point of
sure.
order?
I'm really disgusted in this whole day, and I want to apologize.
You drive me nuts. Oh my God. I'm doing this after the day, while I'm editing it here. And going through the footage, it just reminds me of a bunch of things I wanted to say. So I'm just throwing this in now. It's all about you. You have to turn this meeting into all about you. There are two witnesses standing there right in front of you. Okay? One is an advocate for abused women. Another one is a survivor and an advocate for abused women. Okay? You have a terrible situation that just came up. Okay. Well, you could use that in the testimony, bring it up, and use that for an excuse to have more meetings. You could have called in family members had you called this meeting instead of waiting for the Conservatives to do it. Like, well, I could have called in. Well, why don't you call a meeting? Say, hey, I want another meeting where I get to call in advocates for the Indigenous people. This is what your committee is for. Is to have these meetings, speak with these advocates or whatever. Why are you sitting? What is that? Your cottage? Your house? I don't know. Certainly not your office, because I've seen what your office looks like. It doesn't have that roof line. It's a flat roof. Yeah, babble. Ooh, what a pretty rock. Or is it painted? Is it painted? Oh. Almost thought it was real. Look at that. But I think it's painted. Yep. Why didn't you call your own meeting? Why don't you use this as a launching pad for your meeting? Use this meeting to launch your meeting. But no, you got to be a victim. Why do you got to be a victim? Come on, be proactive. The goal here is for all women. Now, you only want to speak for Indigenous women? Okay, fine, but whatever. The two women in front of you want to speak about all women. And even the victim that's sitting there right in front of you, well, sorry, in front of your monitor, maybe that's why you don't have the empathy that you should have in this moment, is because they're not there in your living room. Maybe you should go to your office, attend the meetings that taxpayers are paying you for. Stop being a victim and start being proactive. When a situation like this comes up, goes, you know what, I'd like to extend these meetings. We have a situation in your riding where some serial killer came along and you just got him convicted. Great. Make meetings about that. Speak to the survivors of that. Make another meeting. But to do it the survivor in front of you tells you that she was sent there by an Indigenous person and an LGBT person, and you gotta make it about you.
point. Leah, if you could continue.
Yeah, so I'm disgusted because I wasn't given a chance to put forward witnesses when I'm representing ground zero of murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls. I could have called the families of loved ones who just lost their loved ones to serial killers in my riding down the street from where I live. Not one Indigenous woman, not one trans woman was asked. It was not done in a thoughtful way. It's a way of silencing voices. And I do not accept that. Getting back to the motion on abortion, you want to talk about state control of bodies. Indigenous women have had it the worst, including the forced sterilization of our women that continues today. So let me continue about being disgusted when I have been on the forefront since being elected, fighting against violence, getting bills passed. I will not make apologies to conservatives who told me and all my sisters during the national inquiry that murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls were not on their radar, that pushed against affirming that what is happening to Indigenous women, girls, 2S LGBTQIA+, was an ongoing genocide, minimizing the fact that thousands of Indigenous women, so I don't want to hear about that. I've never gotten upset in this meeting, ever. I've worked with everybody here. So let me go on about why state control of women's bodies, something that has never happened to men. You name me one law where men's votes or bodies are being threatened by state control. Shame, shame, shameful. The fact that we had a backdoor legislation opposed by every single women's organization across the country working to end violence, Bill C-33, in the name of violence, using, once again, another example of using the crisis of violence against women for political points to push forward backdoor legislation threatening abortion. It says Canada is failing its pregnant women and their preborn children, something that's already protected under the criminal code, something that was very aggressively opposed by all women's organizations across the country who are dealing with domestic violence, minus two pro-choice organizations. The fact that in 2020, the current conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre, claimed that conservative MPs under his leadership would be allowed to vote in their conscience on anti-choice legislation. There is no requirement in the Conservative Party to be pro-choice. This is in contrast, certainly, to the NDP. This was reported in the Toronto Star. Yet the entire Conservative Party, including the leader, even though it was supposed by all women's organizations that are dealing with violence, voted in favor of C-311. And this includes MPs who had previously claimed to be pro-choice. And following that voice, the Abortion Rights Coalition Canada now lists all Conservative MPs as anti-choice. So it's not surprising to me that every Conservative member on the committee today voted against the motion. It's not surprising. This is about women's control over decisions. This is about safety of women. This is about protecting women and diverse gendered folks from state control over our bodies. This is about protecting women from violence that is perpetrated by male conservative members, including MP Jamil Javani, who's best friends with Trump's running mate, JD Vance, from Yale Law School. Javani was previously dismissed by Bell Media for misgendering a public figure. Among other reasons, Javani's best friend, Vance, has been quoted saying that women should stay in abusive marriages, that getting a divorce is
Point
too
of order.
easy, and that career-oriented women are more
Point of order.
medically and
We have a point of order on the table.
than women need to be.
We have a point of order.
Relevance to the motion.
Relevance to the motion. Absolutely, it is relevant to the motion. It is about a constant attack on women.
All of my years
By the
in advocating
Conservative
for
Party.
women. We are leaving. We will not ever have.
Madam Chair, or sorry, your mic is not on, and no one. And at this point, we don't have space to acknowledge in this space right
So
now.
I want to acknowledge the witnesses, Madam Speaker, because I'm the one. and
The
I'm
witness,
gonna acknowledge
the witnesses are no longer in the room.
Okay,
Can I
okay.
adjourn the meeting?
This is my passport, and I'm damn embarrassed.
Just what I needed to calm me down. Oh my. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, the wind's not cooperating. I didn't come here for a shower. I came here to calm down. Now stop it. Wow. I would look at ways of getting these Canada geese out of here. This water don't look all that great. And this looks like crap, Winnipeg. I mean, it looks like a beautiful place, but looks like crap. Anyway, this isn't why I'm here. I have somewhere I want to be that makes me happy. Well, happy isn't exactly the right word. Makes me proud. That's a better word for it. Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for. Hello. Yeah, definitely proud would be the word I'm looking for. Anyway, I'll be back in a second. Gotta hand it to you, Winnipeg. You got some nice old architecture here. I'm assuming that's your legislature way back there. I'd almost think I was looking at the Ontario flag over there. But I'm assuming that's your legislature over there. We're gonna have cars crossing in my path. Hopefully I can get above them. Yay for me, I'm already good with a camera. Alright. But this isn't why I'm here. I'm here for what's behind me. So as we do, hats off. I'd like to thank you for your service, your dedication to my great country. Your sacrifice was not in vain. I apologize for the direction our country is headed, and that the values that you fought for and sacrificed for are put in jeopardy by people like Leah Gazan. I hope to endeavor to help reestablish the dignity you fought for and sacrificed for. Thank you for your service. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun in the morning, we will remember them, as we all should. Know ye who pass by, that for tomorrow we give our today. Peacekeeping service. I'm sorry, I can't read that. I don't know what it says. For the names. Persian Gulf. Balkans, Southwest Asia, Afghanistan, Arabian Sea. Need to get a mortar crew in here. Erected in honor of our citizens who gave their lives in loyalty and noble service in the World War 1914 to 1918. Their bodies are buried in peace, but their names liveth forevermore. I still don't know what that says. Oh, Somme, Hill 70, Vimy Ridge, Passchendaele. Okay, maybe I do know. More names. Thank you for your service. Hey guys, I saw this from the road and I thought I just gotta show you guys. So there's some people walking by, so that's why I'm pointed at the ground for a moment. But yeah, this is so pretty. Just absolutely gorgeous down here. Just look at this beautiful little river. But this is what I saw that I had to come see. There's a local theater company up at the top of this building, at the front of it, doing some videos and pictures and such, and so I went and spoke to the director, and he said it was okay to come down here and do this one. He just didn't want me to video them, which is fair. I can respect that. So this is so cool. The old wheels. Yeah, that's how we used to do her. Oh man, if only that building wasn't in there. There we go. So, I want to carry on a bit. One thing I have been discovering, and everyone's been warning me since I got here in Winnipeg, is this is a very, apparently, not necessarily dangerous, but it is dangerous. But there's a lot of crime in this area, in Winnipeg. And I gotta wonder, you know, like the NDP, they believe in socialism, and you know, everyone's, you know, you gotta tend to everybody and everything. But the one thing that all these socialist programs do is tend to attract a lot of low income, hard luck stories, I guess you could put it, people. And trying to walk a very fine line here, and I'm probably going to step in it big time. But you see, with that same group of people that the NDP and socialism likes to attract, it tends to attract crime into your areas. And the one thing the NDP and socialism doesn't like to deal with is crime. Now, I get it. You don't like the conservatives. Yeah, you got this big thing, all conservatives are going to cut everything. Yeah, well, you say that, but I don't really see it as much as you guys like to keep claiming it. And well, yeah, they probably are going to cut some social programs. You know, some programs that are not generating for all Canadians, that are directed towards special interest groups and activist groups. So, yeah, they're probably going to cut some of your programs. But you know what they do? The conservatives are very, very strong on crime. And you have a serious crime problem here in Winnipeg. I'm not sure about the rest of Manitoba, but in Winnipeg, you definitely have a serious crime problem. I mean, I've been across Winnipeg so far, on the east side, on the west side, on the north side, on the south side, and everybody tells me the same thing. The crime in this area is really bad. The crime in this area is really bad. The crime in this area is really bad. The crime in that area is really bad. Well, if the crime is so bloody bad, and you keep voting for the same party and the same policies and everything, and they're not helping the crime in any way, why do you keep doing it? Why don't you actually take a chance somewhere and actually stand up for yourselves for a change? Don't wait for the government to hand you something. Actually do it for yourself. You know, you want to stop the crime? You know, conservatives are going to crack down on crime. That's just what they do. They're big on cracking down on crime. Well, Leah Gazan doesn't want you to crack down on crime. She just wants you to keep depending upon social programs to make your own way, to make your way in this world, so that the government is you become a dependent upon the government. Why are you dependent on government? Where is your self-pride? Where is your dignity? Where is your drive? If you're going to just sit around and wait for the government to do something for you, why don't you get off your butt and do it for yourself? Like, I know I'm being really harsh about this, but I'm sorry, this really frustrates me. I get it, people get down on their luck and they get in rough spots. And you know what? You need a hand. I get it. But you take that hand and you use it to propel yourself forward so that you can do it for yourself. You don't use that hand to keep holding on to. What are you, a little kid? You gotta hold mommy's hand? Mommy being your NDP government? Like, come on. You know, Winnipeg is in the center of Canada. You got access to everything, both sides of Canada. Why not utilize that? Take advantage of that. Build a province that's really sustainable without government intervention, so that the government can put funds towards other programs, entrepreneurship, innovation. Like, you're spending all your money on social programs and it's not helping your society. Your society is crime ridden. Stop voting NDP. Like, I don't get it. You depend on this handout. Well, why don't you start handing out yourself? Like, start giving it back. Start earning your way. Like, that's not exactly what I'm trying to say. But it's the essence of what I'm trying to say. Oh shit! She just walked around the corner. Oh, what a beautiful dog! What a beautiful little dog! It's a gorgeous little dog. But yeah, like I think you get my point. What I'm trying to say here. You keep electing people like Leah Gazan because she's gonna, Aboriginal rights. Okay, yeah, you Aboriginals have rights too. 100%. You're the First Peoples of Canada. I don't deny that for you. I mean, McGuitch for letting people, Europeans into the country. You may not like us being here now, but you want to take advantage of everything that we brought with us, but you don't want us here. Wait a minute, that's not the way this works. We created these cities. We created this society that you, and the social programs that you depend on. No, like, come on. And I'm a Métis man, like, but I swear I'll never get that card because I don't need to justify my heritage to anybody. And what I want out of life, I go get for myself. And if I can't afford to get it, well, I find ways to make the money to do it. Or I do different things. Like I do YouTube. You know? It's like, pick up a camera, go do that. Just start doing for yourself and stop depending on a government handing you money or a government handing you a social program. Like, you end up with stupid people like Leah Gazan. Like, oh my God, this woman, she's nothing but a racist and a bigot. Not the ways you would expect it. She's actually a reverse racist and a reverse bigot. It's actually despicable. I gotta tie off that strap. All right, I'll talk to you later. All right, guys. I know I've been mad through this whole video, and I've just been dumping on Winnipeg and Manitoba. I almost use Winnipeg, the word Winnipeg and the word Manitoba interchangeably. And I apologize for that. I probably should put more effort into using the names appropriately. A lot of the times I'm talking about the province of Manitoba and I'll call it Winnipeg. And for that, sorry. I'm kind of odd that way. I just associate. Anyway, I'm babbling. So if I do interchangeable, I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just win more. I'm a unique person. What can I say? Anyway, my intentions are a hell of a lot more important than the actual literal word that I use. Anyway, so I've been sort of dumping on you. I'm kind of mad about you guys. I mean, you're still voting for the same party that did this to a woman in the committee meeting of a status for women. I can't remember. Oh God, my brain. Okay. In the committee meeting for the status of women of Canada, the disgrace and the level of disrespect they showed to actual women suffering. I'm sorry. How could you continue to support this woman? Now, I kind of also laid into you about, pick yourself up. But you know what? This is what I'm talking about, okay? You voted for this NDP for the social programs that they offered you. Okay, and one of the major social programs that they assisted the Liberals with is the drugs program. Okay, there's drugs all over Winnipeg. I'm not sure about the rest of Manitoba yet. I haven't been around everywhere yet. But there's drugs all over Winnipeg. And you can see that there's a level of poverty which attracts crime so that people can afford to do. I would have loved to take a walk in there. I guess I walked the wrong way. I know it's a cemetery, but it's beautiful grounds. Anyway, sorry, squirrel. I do have solutions for you and suggestions and stuff. Let me get through to that, okay? I think you really need to rethink this idea of yours that socialism or social programs are the cure-all. They're not the cure-all. They come with side effects, okay? And these side effects are a direct result of what you see when you go into Winnipeg. It's the poverty. It's the crime. It's the, how do I put this? When you look into these people's eyes, there's no ambition. There's no drive. And I don't even know if that's the right way to put this. I feel bad for Manitoba and Winnipeg. If the rest of the province is like this, I kind of feel bad. But I do have solutions for you. Now, don't take my solutions, but maybe use it as a stepping stone to figure out what you want to do. You are the center of Canada. You are its beating heart. You're right dead center. You have access to everything. Everything Canada has to offer you. And we're here. We want you to be part of us. We want you to prosper with us. We really do. And we're doing our damnedest to try and hold you up to a standard that we expect across Canada. But we need your help too. Okay, and we can't afford to keep shoveling money out the door to solve all the social programs. We need help getting that money to pay for them. I don't know where you think we have this endless supply of money. There's only so much the rest of Canada can do. We're still trying to hold ourselves up. We all know we're basically in a recession, even though I don't know if we meet the definitional criteria. We all know it. So we can't afford new programs for your social programs. This is my suggestion, okay? There is a high, and I mean very high, population of, oh my Lord, I didn't even know someone was there. I'm so sorry. You're probably listening to me yell and scream about Winnipeg. Oh man. Somebody just walking their dogs and I'm just out here yelling and screaming. I thought it was all by my lonesome. Me and the graves and the farm fields. Anyway, I'll just keep my voice down. Let her. Well, you have a high concentration of here, let's watch the sun go down instead of the lady. There we go. We have a high concentration of Native Americans, First Nations, Indigenous, whatever word you want to use this week, okay, here in Manitoba. Capitalize on it. Use it. Turn Winnipeg into the Indigenous, yeah, I think that's the word you're using these days, the Indigenous Mecca of North America. You could do culture, you could do your arts, you can attract Indigenous people to Winnipeg to help build the native, habits. I can't keep changing the name, guys. Told you I'm weird. I'm an old man who's kind of weird. Whew. All right. So use your assets. You know, there's high Indigenous, Native people here. And you guys are so good at what you are. Your traditional knowledge is amazing. Yeah, okay, some of you don't know it. Well, hey, use that to teach them. Okay? And apply it throughout Manitoba. You know, you have this awesome farmland that's all over. Beautiful farmland in the southern part of Manitoba. I don't know what the north's like yet. I'm going up that way. We're going to find out. I'm pretty sure it's like muskeg, swampy trees. So we'll see. But that land could be utilized as well. And I would say open up your farmland, start raising up herds of bison, and bring back your traditions. The Sioux, sorry, this is going to sound wrong, but the Sioux Indian Reserve is just across the border to the south, if I'm not mistaken. They used to be known for the buffalo hunt back in the day, until all the buffalo were wiped out. Oh, sorry, we're in Canada. Bison. So stupid. It's like Clementine and fucking Mandarin again. Use that. Bring back the buffalo hunt. Like, invest in that. Invest in creating the industry to bring it back. Find ways to contribute instead of just taking. Okay? Now when you go up north, okay, we'll bring back the hunting up there. Or, you know, make Manitoba the hunting capital of Canada. Create breeding programs for animals so that, you know, you can keep it sustainable. The arts and crafts that you guys create are just amazing. The quality is just crazy. When you put your mind to it, you are, damn, you guys are good. I'm jealous. I wish I had your skills. It pains me when I see such a fantastic culture. It's so good with their art, and yet they don't utilize it. They utilize it to, I don't know, just something, a doodle or whatever. Make it work for you. Have fun with it. I get it. You don't want to make a job out of your hobby. Hold on. But have fun with it. Enjoy it. There we go. Enjoy it. This is what you're good at. Always have been. You know, all this screaming and chewing about, you know, the environment and everything, and, you know, that's part of the reason why you guys like the NDP. Okay, use that swampland to the north to generate electricity and create storage banks down in the south so you can use that energy in the wintertime. It just seems like makes sense. Use that energy, use that possibility. It's not that hard to put up some solar panels up in northern Manitoba. I don't know what the wind's like up there. Maybe put some wind plants up there too. Capitalize on what you do have. Okay, maybe you don't have the Rocky Mountains. Woo! But you have art. You can make the Rocky Mountains pale next to a painting of yours. Use it. Be more than like a sponge. Be part of Canada's beauty and growth. Now, there's going to be people out there saying, oh, Manitoba's not that bad, bad. You know, oh, I got a great job, and da. Yeah, but look at your neighbors. Look at your friends. Or, well, look at the people in your town. Come on, look at your town. Actually, look them right in the eyes and tell me there's aspiration in them. I don't see it. And it hurts. This is Canada. You're a part of us. Help us be better. Welcome to the Fringe. Welcome to the Fringe.